Hey, welcome to my pilot episode. Sometimes a game is so legendary that it has to be covered by a legendary guy, like me. Sometimes a game is so legendary that it just cannot be ignored. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but you know what I mean. So today, I'm going to cover Legendary. No, I'm not making that up. That's the name of the game. Now, this is a segment where I put like the cover of the game over a blurred background, and then I just start talking about the game. Legendary is a first-person shooter developed by Spark Unlimited for PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. If you've never heard of this game before, I wouldn't blame you, honestly. The only reason I ever knew about it was because of this really cool magazine out of the back cover of some gaming magazine whose name I can't remember. It was like a close-up of a Griffon statue from a skyscraper height with the background showing wreckage on the streets and the text reading some explanation about the story. It's honestly a really cool premise. Pandora's box was opened and unleashed mythological beasts into the world, including of course Gryphons, werewolves, and others I'll get onto later. I looked up a trailer for it and thought it looked really dark and creepy, even intense at the time. That was before I knew any better. But I won't be a Debbie Downer here. My name is OptimistNic after all. So, what does this game have to offer? Will it live up to the badass premise? Will it be the stuff of legends? You get it? Isn't that funny? Oh my god. Alright, let's just get to the game already. This is Legendary. Jesus, why does this sound so loud and creepy sounding? I'm pretty sure welding doesn't sound like a screeching toddler in a sex dungeon. Gamecock? Gamecock. What a name. These guys must have been real proud. Actually, fun fact, this publisher had employees come on stage during Ken Levine's acceptance speech at the 2007 VGAs. They were apparently dressed up in capes and rooster heads using the microphone to self-promote, and Ken was therefore ushered off stage. What the fuck? I can't believe it either. I tried to see footage of this, but I had no luck doing so. I did find this though.
All wonderful titles that deserve wonderful praise and applause here in Gamerland. Thank you, thank you.
I really wish I could have gotten video of the footage from the VGAs. I'm sure that footage would have been legendary. I did it again! I'll be here all 20 minutes of this fucking video! Hey, you want to be my Gamecock? You ready to play? Come on. Let's play. Let's play. Oh, well, looks like there's some nice artwork going on here. The game has these very nicely drawn and painted scenes sprinkled in between chapters of the main story. Looks like effort went into making these and they set the tone pretty nicely. Oh shit, dude, we got some rad tunes here! Apparently this game had multiplayer too? Powered by GameSpy? You mean that online service that was also a gaming news site? Rest in peace, GameSpy. IGN may have killed you off, but your legacy will remain in this legendary work of art. So let's just have a look at the story. For hundreds of years, empires fought over possession of Pandora's box, which is a real thing in this world, and apparently far more horrifying than the box of the legend. A group called the Council of 98, who looked like something out of Star Wars TIE Fighter, hid the box, but it was discovered many years later, and eventually it's placed secretly under a museum. You play as Charles Deckard, a generic white male who happens to be a thief. By the way, he doesn't change his clothes through the entire game. Just to bring that up. Also, just want to bring up how beautifully animated that Griffon is on the loading screen. It's just so smooth. Not as smooth as the game's animations though. Looking a little, plasticky there. But on the bright side, at least facial expressions are animated at all. I'd rather they be poorly done than have expressionless faces. So, good job, Spark. You got a checkmark from me. So then he sticks the key into the hole and the box closes on his hand, and then a needle just stabs his hand, which gives him the signet on his hand. You use this to absorb health dropped from fallen legendary creatures that can be used to heal yourself too, depending on how much you've stored. So now you get your first message on your PDA. What's it say? Oh. If I never checked my PDA, I would have just stood there and not do anything at all. Also, I just want to quickly add that through this segment, no matter where you walk, even if you're going back to where you came from, you're gonna get hit from behind for some reason. Oh god, Giant Storm, is that you? Oh. Are you okay? Whoa, that's it? You're just gonna stay in the corner, just done with life? That's it? But you have so much left to live for! Okay. Eventually you do escape and get to see the destruction of the city from outside the museum. Oh my god! These ragdolls are amazing! Oh my god. Oh my god, this music! At this point, you're weaponless while Gryphons are flying around picking up cars and eating people. What? Is he trying to tell me something with that? Oh my god, there are horrors in this game you don't want to see! There's an elevator that... Is it just me, or do all these dead bodies look like people just put too much ketchup on their baconators? I couldn't find a single disemboweled, decapitated human body in the whole game. Eventually though, you do get a melee weapon and a pistol, and get to take it out a weird magma frog who knows the move Rollout. Wait, are you serious? This is a fire drake? So this game employs these so-called real-life versions of these mythical creatures, even briefly describing what they looked like in mythology and comparing them to real life. It doesn't really make your creatures more scary, Spark. It just makes your fire drake appear as if it could be the physical embodiment of the most disgusting Adam's apple you've ever seen. This part of the level introduces you to the Animus Pulse, which can be used to stun enemies. Some enemies later on will require you to use this in order to make them vulnerable, as they'll be in this cloak, not unlike the nude suit from Ghost in the Shell. In the last level of this game, this is made all the more infuriating, but I'll get to that later. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'll get there. Anyways, these fire drakes are easy peasy 2x swing easies. This game actually has a strange emphasis on environmental puzzle solving, and as a welcome surprise, not all of it is as obvious as a neon green bicyclist's jacket, although some pieces of the puzzles do share that distinction. Sometimes you do actually have to look at the surroundings and mess around until you find a solution in places that are not that visually obvious. Wait, how do I get up here? There's even a bit of platforming going on, but you only see it in this one level where you have these storage crates. That's like the only platforming segment that I can think of from this entire game. Now let's ignore head protection regulations and continue with the story. Soon enough, you find Vivian Kane, the lady who's narrated the game so far and yammered in your walkie-talkie and is also much prettier in the artwork than the engine. That walk, though.
This isn't what LaFay said was going to happen today. I had no idea those creatures were going to be released, or that he'd try to kill both of us.
Then LaFay shows up on a screen to tell her and Decker that he wants them both dead.
LaFay, you bastard! You set us up to open the box. Why?
My dear, if I didn't let you in on the details of...
Excuse me, I think I found the real monster.
Frankly, you were always too ambitious to be trusted.
But after a pretty tough shootout segment, Vivian's help in the form of the Council of 98 in modern times comes in to save the day. What gives? No Sith Lord uniforms? Could you just imagine, like, a group of, like, heavily armed soldiers wearing these big Star Wars cloaks on their heads? Like, You just see like big, heavily armed soldiers just in cloaks just like this. Wouldn't that just be like the coolest thing ever? This squad is led by Lexington, a man who looks like George Takei if he swam in the fountain of youth, except the fountain was also filled with deer piss. I say deer piss because his call sign is White Deer, which is about as terrifying as the Milwaukee Bucks slogan.
Bet that thing stings like crazy. Probably should watch where you stick your hands in the future, huh?
Well, good on the developers to add little character moments like that with your new soldier friends. It's just a shame that, there are even creepier creatures like the Nari who are invulnerable until they're not. And apparently these are echidna tentacles? Sorry, but I'm pretty sure that this isn't echidna. At least read your textbooks.
Everybody saw that, right? Giant slimy thing grabbing a guy.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Through this level, you have to fuel a few EMPs to discharge the golem and cause it to collapse. Later in the game, you actually manage to retrieve Pandora's box. You fly over to HQ in London and plan to raid a secret facility of Lafart's to get some intel. The goal is to find a way to reverse the process and unleash the creatures into the world in the first place. Now, interestingly, throughout the game, there will be these transitions that will cut from gameplay to artwork and from artwork to gameplay. It's a neat idea, but they could have been rendered a little more smoothly. Let's see if I can help that. Anyways, a Griffin knocks your chopper down, and the game gives you the opportunity to imagine what the crash looks like. Nice of the developers to let the player picture how it went. I'd say that's giving the player some credit, some imagination. So now you shoot blood ticks and even an admittedly pretty badass looking alpha werewolf. Which leads me to the most infuriating level of the entire fucking game. You're trapped in this pit with a bunch of werewolves and this alpha one who seems to be into WWE.
Sweet dreams, Cupcake! No! High Rider!
Keep in mind that you can only regenerate health after killing a werewolf and sucking their cosmic juices. I know that's not what it is. I'm gonna call them cosmic juices anyway. Now imagine having a low supply of extra guns lying around when you're almost empty and being surrounded by werewolves after having burned through all your cosmic juice. All while some guy calls for help from behind this random metal door that you can't open.
Hey, I'm trying, man.
Don't worry, dude, I gotcha! I couldn't find a single disemboweled, decapitated human body in the whole game. Then you find the last new enemy in the entire game outside of a boss you'll see later. You fight a minotaur, literally a bipedal cow in real life. Who's a pain in the ass to beat, by the way. You have to strike it from behind as that's where it's least armored, but it's not very clear how you get it to stay vulnerable from behind for long enough. I think you have to dodge at the last moment before he rams into an object in the map, like these walls? But what if there's no more objects left? It seems like he constantly faces you, so there's no real way of getting behind him. Then finally, you actually fight a Griffin more than halfway into the game, and there is no clear weakness to this boss. Yet. But when you kill it, it gives you so much cosmic juice that you can fill up on it and have leftovers to heal you all the way. It's honestly a great reward. To be fair, this game does reward you a fair amount of cosmic juice depending on the difficulty of the enemy or how long it takes to kill it. Smaller mobs don't get you much, while big bosses like the Minotaur and Griffin give you a justifiable amount that feels like a good payoff. Next, you find a secret underground base and you and a bunch of council troops gather up at once to kick some ass, Braveheart style. After this big all-out battle, you recover intel from La Fuckhole and bring it over to the council lab, home to the happiest floor cleaner ever, Mr. Boozy? Mr. Boozy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Mr. Boozy. He's just so happy. Look at him. He's like the next Ken Bone. But of course, the intel has a security virus. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Trojan horse!
Gotta get those ancient historical references in there. Griffins start attacking outside and you get a rocket launcher. It makes you walk slower than a snail walking backwards on a treadmill, but your run speed remains the same because reasons. None of that matters though because... The Kraken arises, and you find a machine to control Minotaurs to conveniently wail on them from behind. It felt so cathartic, like Leopold II exploiting the Congo. Then you fight the Kraken and shoot it down!
But wait, there's more!
LaFapper has kidnapped your not-girlfriend, Vivian, and now you're off to go get her! Wait a second. That's the menu theme. Is this the last level of the game? I actually really love it when games do this, when they play a song you hear either in the menu or in the intro at the end of the game. It's just really cool for some reason. I don't know why it's cool, it just is. But actually no, it's just a primer for the primer of the last level of the game. So now you make your way into La Frappuccino's building, fight 2 Minotaurs at once with no Animus machine in the room. Have fun with that! But eventually you get to the labs and rescue Vivian, which brings me to my favorite moment of the entire time I spent playing this game. We get to the elevator to try to stop the machine before La Gamecock exec uses Pandora's box to control all the beasts.
Deckard, all security cameras are disabled. I'm on my way up. Get to the power control booth and wait for me there.
Wow! Isn't that just great? No, you didn't inhale too much rubbing alcohol. This actually fucking happens. Every time you go into this elevator, you fall right through it or glitch out for a moment and then fall over. I'm done. That's the end of the video. I'm out. So it turns out that the only way to fix this elevator bug is to go to a few folders, look for PandoraEngine.ini, open it with Notepad, scroll down until you find max smoothed frame rate equals 300, and reduce the value to 30. Some people said 60 works, but I haven't gotten it to work, so I'd say 30 is your best bet. So basically, you have to force your game to run like what I can only describe as Total Biscuit's anti-fetish in order to get to the last level. Alright, sweet! I'm at the next checkpoint. Time to fix that frame rate. Also, I just want to point out that this game lets you run sideways. Anyways, you take out some shield generators so you can overload the big machine. Now remember when I mentioned earlier in this video how you need the Animus Pulse to reveal some enemies before they can take damage? Well, because when you constantly get shot at by swarms of enemies and take damage from werewolves at the same time, you tend to want to heal yourself a lot so you don't fucking die. But not only do you still need to have a full tank of juice to fuel the machine, the moment that the barriers go down, every werewolf already on the map and new ones that arrive will become impervious to bullets because they'll be covered in that cloak again. And again, the only way to expose them is with the Animus Pulse, and the Animus Pulse uses a good chunk of your Cosmic Juice, but to get Cosmic Juice, you need to kill the werewolves. Well, you can't kill the werewolves if you run out of Cosmic Juice, which you need not only to survive, but also to expose werewolves to kill them and get more Cosmic Juice from doing so, on top of also overloading the machine to beat the fucking game! Woo! By the way, this is only on the normal difficulty setting. I had to go full pussy-ass mode just to beat this level, and boy did that work out well for me. Anyway, soon we witness one of the quickest yet greatest villain deaths in gaming history. Oh my god! Talk about overkill! And then Pandora's box blows up and Vivian is unkilled.
How did you survive that blast?
Then, of course, dear pissed George Takei turns on Deckard to study his signet. He escapes and...
Deckard became determined to set things right, just not in the way anyone expected.
Yo, what? Dude! You serious? Please just tell me that there's still some game left. I want to be able to kill Olexandr while riding a Griffon. Please, let it happen! Please! That's it? What the f- No! No! Oh no! You were teasing me! Was that sequel bait? Was that sequel bait? Also, just want to point out some of the credits down here. Special thanks to Rahila Nasir for her infinite patience. Pillow Lips Igo. Rachel Ianomau for not killing me these months. Brandy, no last name, for not divorcing me during this production? So what's my verdict on this mythological, legendary pile of garbage? It's not bad, honestly. I honestly did enjoy myself playing this game. There is quite a bit of fun to be had in it, ironic or otherwise, and I was actually very intrigued by the story. The characters not so much, but this game is a passable $3 experience. You know what? I think the best way to describe this game is a guilty pleasure. I think that's just the best way to describe it. That's how I felt playing this. It was still fun, even though it was actually... it's not a very good game. It's not a good game, but it was still fun. It was a guilty pleasure. How much better can you get with a guilty pleasure than that? Ah.